These are new airline rules catching travelers off guard right now. If you're flying this summer and beyond, airlines have quietly changed their rules, and most travelers have no idea. Some of these rules can get your ticket canceled, some can get you banned from an airline entirely, and some will cost you hundreds of dollars in fees you never saw coming. I'm breaking down 9 rules that are being enforced right now. If you have a trip booked in the next few months, you need to hear every single one of these. Rule 1. Your airline just banned skip lagging, and they're hunting you. Here's the scenario that's playing out thousands of times right now. You want to visit Dallas. A round trip to Dallas costs $540, but a round trip to Chicago with a Dallas layover costs $380. So you book Chicago, get off in Dallas, and pocket the savings. Sounds harmless, except airlines call this skip lagging, hidden city ticketing, and they are done tolerating it. American Airlines just won a $9.4 million lawsuit tied to skip lagging. They are using that win as a license to go after passengers. Here's how they catch you. They run algorithms that flag suspicious booking patterns. If your home address matches the layover city, that's a red flag. If you book connecting flights and never show up for the final leg, that's a red flag. If you do it more than once, you get noticed. And when they flag you, here is what actually happens. Your remaining tickets get canceled. If you had a return flight, it's gone. You are stranded and paying full price to get home. Your frequent flyer miles disappear. All of them. Your elite status gets revoked on the spot. And your name can go on an internal list. United, Delta, and American all track this behavior. One traveler posted about American Airlines threatening him over a single attempt. He could have been charged the difference between what he paid and a full-price ticket and faced a ban. Now here is the part people miss. This is not illegal. The courts confirmed that. But it violates your contract of carriage, and airlines are treating that contract like law now. The worst part? There is no appeal. Once you are flagged, the airline does not have to explain anything. They just enforce. So if you see that cheap connecting flight to the city you actually want, think twice. The savings are not worth your miles, your status, or getting banned from the airline. Rule 2. A machine is now deciding. If your carry-on fits for years, the carry-on size limit was a suggestion. The bag was technically too big, but the gate agent was busy. The line was long, and they waved you through. That era is over. 35 major airports just installed automated bag-sizing machines at the gate. These are not tired TSA agents who might cut you a break. They are machines, and machines do not negotiate. Your bag either fits in the sizer or it does not. If it does not fit, you are gate checking it. And that gate check fee runs anywhere from $25 to $100 depending on your airline. Here is the trap that is catching the most people. When you buy your ticket, the airline tells you your bag qualifies as a personal item or a carry-on. Then you get to the gate, the machine measures it, and suddenly it does not fit. The number one bag getting flagged? The expandable suitcase. When you unzip that expansion zipper to fit a little more, you add 1 to 2 inches. That extra inch is exactly what pushes you over the limit. Soft-sided bags are the second biggest problem. You overstuff them, they bulge, and they no longer fit the sizer even though they did empty. And this is only getting bigger. These automated sizers are expanding to 80 airports by the end of 2026. So here is what you do. Measure your bag against your airline's exact dimensions before you leave the house. Do not estimate. Do not assume last year's bag still qualifies. And if you use an expandable bag, do not expand it. A hard shell bag that holds its shape passes these machines far more reliably than a soft bag that bulges. Rule 3. Southwest just walked out of 2 major airports. This one is fresh. It happened within the last week. Southwest Airlines completely pulled out of Chicago O'Hare and Washington Dulles. Not reduced service, not fewer flights. Completely gone. If you had a Southwest booking to or from O'Hare or Dulles after June 4th, your flight is affected. The airline offered 3 options. Rebook to a nearby airport, Midway in Chicago, or DCA and BWI in the Washington area, or take a full refund. Now here is why this matters, even if you do not fly Southwest. When a major carrier exits a hub, it sets off a chain reaction. Other airlines absorb those passengers, so their flights get fuller and tighter. Connecting flights through those airports see more delays. Hotels near the affected airports book up faster, and your backup options shrink right when you need them most. If you are flying through Chicago or DC this summer, build in extra time. Check whether your specific airport changed. And do not assume the airline will proactively tell you. Many travelers find out at the airport. Rule 4. Skip your first flight. Lose your entire trip. This one catches honest travelers, not just bargain hunters. Say you booked a round trip with a connection. Your plans change. You decide to skip the first leg and just catch the second flight. Or you drive to your connecting city and plan to pick up the trip from there. In 2026, the moment you miss that first segment, airlines automatically cancel everything after it. Your connecting flight, your return flight, the whole itinerary. This used to come with some flexibility. Airlines would sometimes reinstate you or let it slide. Not anymore. They are enforcing this with fewer exceptions and zero patience. The system is automated. Miss the first leg and the cancellation triggers instantly. By the time you reach the airport for your second flight, your seat is already gone. And here is the financial hit. You do not get a refund for the canceled segments. Any travel insurance tied to that booking can be voided because you broke the fare rules. So if any part of your plan changes, do not just skip a flight. Call the airline first. Change the booking the right way. Skipping a segment to be clever, or even by accident, can cost you the entire trip. Rule 5. Basic economy. Now means your carry-on gets left behind. Basic economy was always the budget option. But in 2026, the airlines quietly made it worse in a way that hits you at the gate. American Airlines added a $5 surcharge on checked bags for basic economy. United is pushing basic economy passengers all the way back to boarding group 8. Delta rebranded its cheapest fare and bumped those flyers to the last boarding groups too. That sounds like a minor inconvenience. It is not. Here is what actually happens. You board near the very end. Everyone ahead of you has already filled the overhead bins. By the time you walk on, there is no space left for your carry-on. So the gate agent takes your bag and checks it, sometimes for a fee. You thought a carry-on was included with your ticket. Technically it is. But what is also included is a near guarantee that there is nowhere to put it on a full summer flight. And summer flights are full. Airlines cut capacity this year, so planes are packed. If you are flying basic economy this summer, assume your carry-on is getting gate checked. Either pay to upgrade your boarding group, or pack everything into one personal item that fits under the seat. That underseat bag is the only space they cannot take from you. Rule 6. Real ID is being enforced. And the backup plan is a nightmare. Real ID has been threatened for almost 20 years. In 2026, it is finally being enforced for domestic flights. If your driver's license does not have the star in the corner, it is not Real ID compliant. And without a compliant license or a passport, you have a problem at the checkpoint. Now, the TSA built a backup. It is called ConfirmID. You can pay $45 at the checkpoint for a temporary identity verification. But here is what they do not advertise. That $45 is non-refundable. It is only good for 10 days, so a round trip might mean paying it twice. And TSA is openly warning that travelers using ConfirmID face significantly longer wait times. We are talking extra screening that can add 50 minutes or more to your security wait. On a busy summer travel day, 50 extra minutes is the difference between making your flight and watching it leave, so do not gamble on this. If you have a passport, bring it. A passport always works for domestic flights. If you do not, get a Real ID compliant license now, before your trip. Most state DMVs can take 1 to 4 weeks to process it, so do not wait until the week before you fly. Rule 7. TSA just reversed itself on a popular carry-on item. For a while, TSA loosened up on small blades, tiny knives, certain multi-tools. Things under a couple inches were sometimes allowed. In 2026, they reversed course. Foldable utility knives and multi-tools are now banned from carry-ons, and it does not matter if the blade is under 2.36 inches. The size exception people relied on is gone. TSA says the concern is concealed blades, and they are not taking chances anymore. This is catching practical, everyday travelers off guard. The person with a Leatherman clipped inside their backpack. The contractor who forgot a utility knife in their work bag. The traveler with a multi-tool they have flown with for years without a problem. It gets confiscated now. No exceptions, and you do not get it back. There is more on the banned list this year too. Toy guns, replica grenades, and novelty items shaped like weapons are banned from carry-ons. Even if they are obviously fake, TSA treats anything that resembles a weapon as the real thing. So before you head to the airport, actually open your carry-on and check it. Pull out any multi-tool, any small knife, anything blade-like. If you need it at your destination, put it in your checked bag instead. Rule 8. The new scanners. See everything in your checked bag. Checked baggage screening just took a massive leap forward. Most major airports finished rolling out advanced three-dimensional CT scanners. These machines are dramatically more accurate than the technology from even a year ago. What does that mean for you? Things that used to slip through now get flagged. The biggest target is hidden lithium batteries, power banks, spare batteries, and smart luggage with built-in batteries. Here is the rule that trips people up. Lithium batteries and power banks are not allowed in checked baggage. They have to be in your carry-on. For years, people packed them in checked bags and the old scanners missed them. The new scanners do not miss them. When they find one, your bag gets pulled, your battery gets confiscated, and you can miss your flight while they sort it out. Smart luggage is the other big one. If your suitcase has a built-in battery that you cannot remove, that bag can be refused entirely. No battery removal means no flying with that bag, and there is no refund for a confiscated battery. So before you check a bag, take out anything with a lithium battery. Power banks, spare camera batteries, anything like that goes in your carry-on every time. And if you own smart luggage, make sure that battery pops out before you get to the airport. Rule 9. The government is forcing airlines to tell you your rights. This last one is actually in your favor, if you know about it. As of May 26, 2026, a new federal rule took effect. Airlines now have to publish a one-page passenger rights summary. It spells out what you are owed when things go wrong. Delays, cancellations, getting bumped from an overbooked flight, lost or delayed baggage. There is also a federal rule requiring automatic refunds. If your flight is canceled or significantly delayed, the airline has to refund you. For credit card payments, that refund has to come within 7 business days. For cash, within 20 calendar days. You are not supposed to have to fight for it or jump through hoops. So why do so few people get these refunds? Because the airlines buried the information. That passenger rights summary is technically on their website, but it is not on the homepage. You have to dig for it. And when your flight is canceled and you are stressed at the gate, you are not digging. So do this now, before your trip. Look up your airline's passenger rights summary and read it. Know what you are owed before something goes wrong. Because the airline is not going to remind you at the moment you actually need it. Let's pull this together into a checklist you can actually use. 1. Bring a passport or a real ID-compliant license. Do not gamble on the $45 fee and the 50-minute wait. 2. Take every lithium battery and power bank out of your checked bag and put it in your carry-on. 3. Measure your carry-on against your airline's exact dimensions and do not expand an expandable bag. 4. Never skip a flight segment, even by accident. If your plans change, call the airline and change the booking properly. 5. If you fly basic economy, assume your carry-on gets gate-checked. Pack a personal item that fits under the seat. 6. Check your carry-on for multi-tools and small knives before you leave the house. 7. Look up your airline's passenger rights summary so you know what you are owed. These are not predictions. These are not maybe. These are rules being enforced right now, this summer, on flights leaving today. Air travel got more crowded, more expensive, and more strict all at once this year. The travelers who know these rules glide through. The ones who do not are the ones paying fees, missing flights, and losing their bags. If you are flying in the next 3 months, watch this again the night before you pack. And do me a favor. Send this to someone you know who is traveling this summer. They almost certainly have not heard about half of these. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I cover airline rules, TSA changes, and the travel mistakes that quietly cost people money every single week. Thanks for watching, and safe travels out there.